I want to congratulate on everybody. This is the biggest standing sitting crowd we've had since we've opened the boardroom. So we set a record tonight.
Yeah.
I want to welcome everybody. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. Today is February the 11th, 2019. Time is now 7 p.m. We do have a quorum of the trustees present. I call this meeting to order. This afternoon, Mr. Mullinak will lead us in the pledges, and Mr. Rector will lead us in the invocation. Everybody will please rise.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, come this evening, thanking you for watching over our staff and our students. We thank you and ask your blessing on all these our people who are gathered here this evening. Pray that special blessing on the family of our dear friend, Mr. Hector Acevedo. Give them comfort, give them the strength, oh God, that they need. And then, Heavenly Father, ask your blessings on this meeting. Pray and ask your blessings on this board and our superintendent. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. For the sake we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Rector, for those words. Before we get started, I would like to recognize some special guests that are here with us tonight. We have the joy of having our former superintendent, Bob Smith, in our attendance tonight. Mr. Smith. And for some reason, his wife is with him, former trustee Linda Smith. We also have Michael Kiesnick with our CPA firm. And we also have a special honored guest, Ms. Hector Acevedo. Ms. Acevedo, welcome. We have Mr. Acevedo's two daughters, Amanda Morris and Amy Acevedo, here tonight. And I'd also like to recognize Hector Acevedo Jr., who's unable to be with us tonight. So to our parents and our guests, the recognition item of our agenda is also a special time for us because it allows us as a board to recognize our Panthers of the Month, our students, our staff, and then any distinguished honors that they've earned. Tonight is a special night because we have a special recognition and we're honoring the lasting memory of Mr. Hector Acevedo. Mr. Acevedo devoted 35 years of his professional career to the students of this school district and to our community. And I want Ms. Acevedo and the family to know that it's an honor for me to be here tonight and to read this proclamation. Hector was my principal. He was my brother's principal, my sister's principal, so he was a principal of thousands of students that went through our school district. And the remarks in the proclamation, as I read it, are going to be remarks that when our students, our community members, and our staff learned of his passing, or comments that they made. So it's a very special moment and a tribute, and we're glad we can do it for him. We have his picture on the screen also. Hector was a very, for me as a young man, imposing figure. I made sure I didn't go to his office and have to get any disciplinary problems with him, but he was a great individual. I'm going to read the proclamation now.
He was also a Vietnam vet. We're honoring him for that.
The members of the Aransas Pass Independent School Board joined with the staff, faculty, and community to honor the memory of Mr. Hector Acevedo. Mr. Acevedo is honored for his outstanding service and extraordinary achievement as a teacher and administrator within the school district. And whereas Hector Acevedo was an enthusiastic and devoted educator with the Aransas Pass Independent School District for 35 years, he began his career as the American history teacher at the 8th grade level at May Allen and at Walter Noble campuses. Mr. Acevedo shared a love of American history with his students and taught through his own example as a former soldier in the United States Army who served and was wounded in Vietnam. His students recognized that he was a true American hero. And whereas Mr. Acevedo impacted his students in his classrooms, his students remembered him as a teacher with an imposing presence who was also kind, fair, and humble. Mr. Acevedo earned the respect of his students without ever having to demand it. His students knew that Mr. Acevedo required them to meet his expectations and worked with them to acquire success in their endeavors. And whereas Mr. Acevedo was promoted to assistant principal and then principal of the Aransas Pass Junior High School, and later to Charlie Marshall Elementary and Falk Early Childhood. As an administrator, he can continue to cultivate a great environment for both learning and teaching, and forge positive and supportive relationships within the community members to ensure that all students receive the quality education they deserved. And whereas Mr. Hector Acevedo, throughout his tenure, served as an excellent example to colleagues, teachers, and administrators alike, inspiring them with his fair and consistent treatment to all students, teachers, and parents. Many of his employees and teachers were former students who recognized him as a great leader and were proud to call him their boss and their friend. Mr. Acevedo was a tireless advocate for those students and teachers. And whereas upon his retirement, Mr. Acevedo's legacy lived on in thousands of lives he touched. He was remembered fondly by all who either sat in his classroom or worked with him in his school. And whereas with his passing, the family of Hector Acevedo can be proud of the tremendous impact he had that will continue to resonate not only within the walls of his schools, but also within the minds of his students, parents, teachers, and alumni throughout the community. Mr. Acevedo enriched Aransas Pass with his service and is worthy of esteem of all community members now. Therefore, be it known that the Aransas Pass School District gratefully honors the lasting memory of Mr. Hector Acevedo, signed this day, February, in the year 2019 by the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Mr.
On behalf of the board, here is a Friends proclamation. We also have some flowers for you. And I want to say thank you for his commitment to our school district and to our students, and it's great job. Absolutely.
Good evening to all of you. On behalf of my daughters, Amy and Amanda, and my son who's not able to be here, Hector Jr., we would like to thank the community of Aransas Pass. If you can imagine, back in 1973, we were fresh out of high school, we were fresh out of college. We had not a clue what we wanted to do. We just knew we wanted to be by the beach somewhere. And I literally took a map and pointed to Aransas Pass, came over here, and we were blessed by meeting Mr. Bernardin and Mr. De La Rosa, who hired us on the spot. And then, of course, we made our trek with a 12 by 60 foot trailer, and we moved it from Kingsville all the way here to Aransas Pass. We were blessed by all the people that we met, the community, the colleagues, everyone. But you know, through the 35 years, we shared in many special stories around our kitchen table, stories that Hector gave to us, and of course, stories that the children also held close to their heart. One of the lasting memories that we have of Hector after he retired, and he was able to see just how many lives he had touched without realizing just, if he'd ever see any of his former students again. He knew that many of his colleagues would come over and say hello, and they would see each other in town. But he sometimes worried about his students. Needless to say, the very first time that he had knee surgery, a little girl by maybe 4'11" came into the hospital room and said, "I'm here to take care of you." Well, my husband's 6'3", and so he quickly said, "No, I don't think so. This is not going to work out." She looked at me and said, "You need to go on, Mrs. Acevedo. I'll take care of this." Well, it was one of his former students, and she really did take care of him and did a great job. And as the years progressed and as his health declined, he met hospital administrators, even a policeman, physical therapists, occupational therapists, people that would come to the house to take care of him. These were the impressions that were left by not only the community but by the students. The last story that I'll tell is months before his passing, he was given a motorized wheelchair. And of course, he needed room to practice. So where did he want to go? He wanted to go to Lowe's in Aransas Pass. Took his motorized wheelchair, and there he goes. Well, I almost thought like as if I had a toddler in my hands, because he disappeared. He disappeared on me, and I was afraid of what he was going to do with that chair, or knock things down, or do whatever that man still does, the way that he behaved. And lo and behold, I found him with a group of former students taking selfies, laughing, and having a grand old time. These are the stories that we will always cherish. The stories of the community, stories of his students, the people that he touched, but not only, more importantly, the people that came around after he got older and as his health declined, the people that came around and touched his life. To the community of Aransas Pass, to the school board, I thank you. We thank you from the bottom of our heart for the very special memories that we will hold dear for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yes.
Ms. Acevedo, we do report our board meetings, and they're posted within a few days, so that will be posted on there for your phone.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Yes. I'll have to need to get back to San Antonio, so I'm gonna have to.
Thank you for
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you so much. No, I'm talking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Connie.
Our next recognitions are Panthers and Employees of the Month. That's good. Ms. Grant, you can read.
Okay, our first recognition is from Bach Early Childhood, and it is Jalen Davila. She is a kindergartner at Bach Early Childhood. Oh, sorry. He is the son of Christina Davila and R.J. Ortiz.
Is Jalen here? Come on up, Jalen. Don't be shy.
In his spare time, Jalen Brandon, and sisters, Ava and Kiana. Jalen likes school because he gets to learn his numbers, uses his favorite color, blue, and go outside to play. When Jalen grows up, he wants to be a firefighter. He was selected as Panther of the Month because he is a dedicated student. He follows the school rules and tries his best when doing his work. He is a good helper to his classmates and his teacher. Falk Early Childhood is proud to have Jalen Davila as their Panther of the Month. Congratulations. Keeper Elementary has selected Andrea Aguilera as their January Panther of the Month. Andrea is a third grader at Keeper Elementary and is a daughter of Sylvia Briones and Roland Aguilera. In her spare time, she enjoys playing outside, reading, and helping her mom. She likes science the best of all, her classes, because we do such cool stuff in that class. Currently, she is not sure what she wants to be when she grows up. She was selected as Panther of the Month because she is very caring, a hardworking student. She makes great choices at school and is a leader when it comes to academics. She has a very sweet smile and a caring personality for everyone. Keeper Elementary is proud to have Andrea Aguilar as their Panther of the Month. Charlie Marshall Elementary School has selected Eli Stansberry as our January Panther of the Month. Eli is a fourth grader in CNES. He is always very respectful and always puts others first. We are very proud of his hard work and his dedication. He is the son of Clint and Celeste Stansberry. He has 3 sisters. He currently has 2 guinea pigs and 2 dogs. His favorite hobbies are playing the video game Fortnite and playing soccer. Eli's favorite color is orange, and his favorite subjects in school are reading and science. He likes school because he can learn and be with his friends. He wants to become a professional chef and a professional soccer player. Please join us in congratulating Eli Stansberry as our January Panther of the Month. He is one of the many bright stars we have at CNES. Jesus Rodriguez is a 6th grade student at AC Blunt Middle School. He is the son of Jose and Alma Rodriguez. He is the youngest of 3 children. He has a brother named Jose Jr. and a sister named Jackie. In his free time, he likes playing video games and reading. He likes to read adventure and mystery books. His favorite books are the Goosebumps series. Math is his favorite subject because finding the answers is like solving a puzzle. When he finishes school, he's interested in pursuing a career in law. This interest comes from his enjoyment of the television show Law and Order. Something might surprise others about Jesus is that he knows how to cook. He was selected as Panther of the Month because he's a dedicated student. He was nominated by his teachers because he always follows the rules, makes good choices, and is a good example for his classmates. AC Blunt Middle School is proud to have Jesus Rodriguez as their Panther of the Month. Aransas Pass High School has selected Kaylin Holland for their January Panther of the Month. Kaylin is the daughter of Denise and James Holland. She is a junior at Aransas Pass and enjoys varsity cheerleading in her spare time. Kaylin loves taking care of her kitten Luna. Her favorite subject is math, and her goal is to become a pediatric nurse when she graduates from college. Kaylin was selected Panther of the Month at Aransas Pass High School because of the hard work and dedication she exhibits. Aransas Pass High School is proud to have such a great student. Congratulations. That's what happened. Yeah, oh, sorry, I got one. We didn't wait until we get the kids' pictures.
We can take the kids' pictures and we can do the. You guys want to come here to the center, slide this way, take a big group picture. Awesome job. Any more mom pictures before we move? We good? Hey, congratulations, we're very proud of you.
Congratulations. Josephine Watson is the amazing library at Bach Early Childhood. This is her 18th year with Aransas Pass ISD. Josephine is married to her husband Robert and has 2 grown daughters, Katrina and Kimberly. The Watson house has 2 dogs, Lily and Big Man. In her spare time, Josephine enjoys cooking. She makes the best lumpias and poncai. Mrs. Watson enjoys her job as librarian. She loves to read books to the children and to help open their eyes and hearts to the world of reading and books. She definitely goes above and beyond in everything she does. When she's not in the library, she's helping children in the classrooms. Bach Early Childhood is proud to have Josephine Watson as their Employee of the Month. Keeper Elementary has selected Courtney Dieter as their January Employee of the Month. This is her biography in her own words. I have lived in Aransas Pass for about 6 months now. Even though I have not worked in this district for a long time, I feel like this is where I belong. I've been married for almost 3 years and have 2 beautiful babies. Mason is 7 months and Peyton is 2. I love what this town has to offer my family, and everyone I've met has been so kind to us. I grew up struggling with math, and until the 8th grade it was my least favorite subject. Once I finally found the right teacher, I was finally able to understand it, and since then it has been my subject in school. I hope that I can bring the love of learning to my students, just like that one teacher did for me so many years ago. I am thankful for my amazing team, and I know that if it wasn't for them, I would not have been able to fit in and catch my class up like I have. I love being around my students and helping them have fun, but I also learn at the same time. I am so thankful to be a part of the Aransas Pass ISD family. Courtney was selected Employee of the Month at Keeper Elementary because of the hard work she does exhibit. Our newest teacher works well with a smile and has come to work even when she's been unable to get around. This is a lot of dedication to our students. Keeper Elementary is proud to have such a great employee like Courtney. Charlie Marshall Elementary would like to honor Raina Balderas as our January's Employee of the Month. Raina has been an employee of APISD for 12 years, with 10 of those years on the Charlie Marshall Elementary campus. 10 years and thousands of meals later, she comes to work with a smile on her face and some pep in her step as she prepares breakfast and lunch for over 200 students every day. Nacho Supreme, chili scoopers, and cheese enchiladas are 3 of her specialties that are made with love for the kids and staff. These are good. When she is not preparing meals for the students of APISD, she may be found cooking for her husband, Tony, spending time with her 2 grandchildren, or relaxing while enjoying her favorite telenovels. Jessie is her favorite. It can also be said that one of her other hobbies is to make some extra spicy hot sauce to see if Mr. Sager and the rest of the staff can handle the heat. The students at CMES call her Miss Raina, while we like to refer to her as La Reina de la Cocina, or the Queen of the Kitchen. The students and staff at CMES would like to say thank you to Miss Raina for all she does, as our hearts and stomachs appreciate her. Mr. Sager. Rebecca Johnson was selected by her fellow teachers as Employee of the Month at AC Blunt Middle School because of the hard work and dedication she exhibits for our students. This is her biography. Rebecca Johnson started her teaching career in Aransas County ISD as a paraprofessional, working in the computer lab for 2 years. She then received her alternate certification and became a technology teacher at the same district for 6 more years. Rebecca is currently working to complete her Master's of Science in Instructional and Educational Technology with a Master Technology certification. She was very excited to join the AC Blunt Middle School family this year and has enjoyed her first semester in Aransas Pass ISD. Her passion is teaching children how to use technology in real-world applications that will also benefit their future. We are proud to have such a great employee like Rebecca Johnson at AC Blunt Middle School. Last but not least, Linda Hamilton was selected by her fellow teachers as Employee of the Month at APHS because of the hard work and dedication she exhibits for our students. This is her biography in her own words. My name is Linda Hamilton, freshman, and this is my second year at Aransas Pass High School. I've been teaching in a high school setting for 23 years, and I'm married to my best friend, who's also a teacher at Sinton High School. I have 2 children who are currently in college, and while I'm loving watching them learn about their future careers and grow into adults, I do miss them. I have been a professional musician since I was 16, and I still have a part-time job as a church pianist accompanist. I have many hobbies, including stained glass and card making. I feel fortunate to be at such a supportive school. It's hard to be new, but not nearly as difficult when you are surrounded by such caring and helpful colleagues. Aransas Pass High School is proud to have such a great employee like Linda Hamilton. Congratulations, guys. The APISD Board of Trustees would like to recognize Zachary Martinez for making first-chair trombone for the ATSSB All-State Band. Zachary will perform with the All-State Band on February the 16th in San Antonio. Congratulations, Zachary. Woo! ISD Board of Trustees would also like to recognize NJROTC for qualifying state competition. This is the 15th consecutive year they have qualified. Mr. Jeffries, would you like to, I don't have their names.
No, it's okay. I'll have my our charging unarmed platoon commander and CO go up next over.
Okay, thanks, guys.
I'd like to get it all.
So yeah, let's go, guys.
Come up here with me. Any more mama pictures are we?
Actually, one thing, my principal, administration for all the support. Couldn't do it without you guys. We're going to go represent up there in Texas, so we'll see what happens.
Good
Would you ask him to go off and watch your
Hey guys, hang on for 1 second.
Roots, get him.
Fall back in.
The APISD Board of Trustees would like to recognize Ben Chadwick and Julie Lewis for qualifying for the UIL State Solo and Ensemble Choral Competition. Ben is a senior. This is only his second year in choir. He is an active in our theater arts program and has multiple roles in the various plays that they have presented. He is also a volunteer at the Rialto Theater. Julie is a junior. She has been in choir since she was in the 2nd grade. She also sings with her church choir. Julie just landed a part in a play the theater will be putting on this spring. The solo and ensemble competition will take place in Austin in early June. Congratulations, guys. Okay, in celebration of National School Counselors Appreciation Week, February 4th through the 8th, 2019, the board would like to recognize each of the district's counselors for their dedication and hard work for the students of Aransas Pass Independent School District. From Falk Early Childhood, we have Carla Vargas. Parker Elementary, we have Sue Wood. From Charlie Marshall Elementary, we have Stephanie Wickie. From AC Blunt Middle School, we have Laura Conster. Last but not least, we have from Aransas Pass High School, Rochelle King and Stephen Schulman. Thank you so much, Ron.
Just real quick before you guys head out, I know everybody's busy, but it's really a joy and an honor for the board to recognize excellence. We constantly talk about a commitment to excellence. Senior Chief does that with the NJROTC.
Yeah.
The little ones are doing it as they're coming up. Our counselors are doing it. And public education doesn't always get the best publicity in the news, but tonight is a great example of what happens when a community comes together and we work hard and we do all the things that we do. The smallest things make a big difference. We're preparing for a meeting, but I can tell you, on behalf of my board, that this is the proudest moment that we have. We're going to go through budgetary items and all kinds of updates and construction, but the bottom line is what we do is for what's in here. It's for the families and the kids of Aransas Pass to give them the best education. And we're like anybody else. Sometimes we don't hit the mark. We may not succeed the first time, but just like NJROTC, they continue to practice and strive for that excellence, and that's what we're doing as a district for you, the parents, and for our students. So on behalf of the board, I want to say thank you.
You're free to go. All right. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate it. We got to go bad. Two more state solos going too. All right, man. Got it. Yeah. I put that uniform in your office because I see you later. Yes, ma'am. I got it. That, and Mr. Bennett was saying something about like just hanging on to it and do it at the principal's meeting tomorrow morning or something.
Agenda item number 3 is public comments. Please, maybe you can explain it.
Yeah, I got everybody somebody's head.
You did too? So you want to?
Agenda item number 4 is the Student Advisory Council report. Ms. Cook?
Hey, where'd everybody go?
Yeah, again, we have our members here, on this left for a while. I think we went out in the crowd, so. But anyhow, again, the students provided us some ideas, some changes, some problems that Ms. Cook and the board were not aware of. And so we've asked her to address those problems with the administrators of the campus and kind of correct those things so that, so again, we think it's valuable too, because again, even administrators at the school board, just through the meetings there, they come up with things that nobody's aware of except them. So they don't pass it on. So that allows us the opportunity to fix those problems, to make it a safe and enjoyable place for them to come to school every day.
So just from my understanding, one of the things that we talked about was we wanted to make sure when we implemented this that the issues that were being brought up during the advisory council is that there was a moment on the next meeting where it was reported back any action that was taken. So if we can start including that on the report, that way we can know, and we'll know that the kids' concerns are being addressed and they're being responded
So
to.
when we meet on the Tuesday, then try to see if there's anything that's done between that and the board meeting.
Right, well, any concerns that were on this last meeting, that y'all have a agenda item where you go back and report back to them, and then we can see it in your minutes that they've been addressed.
Oh, yes.
And again, we kind of try to come up with a topic ourselves. But again, if the board has anything that they want us to address during those meetings, just if you let Ms. Cook know that we can put that onto. We'd like to have it a week before so they can have a little time to discuss it on their campuses and have the meetings and stuff. We talked this year, we're going to look at the dress code to see, whether it's working, it's not working, if there's something we can tweak to make it better or whatever else, and how is it being administered on the campus and that. So that's going to be our topic to discuss for the next meeting we have next month. So.
Does the board have any other discussion or questions?
Well, I can say Mr. Mullinax do a very fine job of running that meeting. Yes, he does. Thank you. Come up with suggestions. So, you need to board and announce a second call.
Agenda item number 5 and 6 are to consider and approve overnight trips. Ms. Cook?
Yes, some of the students that we just have here, they need to work to go and represent our district. They have a trip that they will be taking. So we have our high school NJROTC will be going to Texas A&M University in College Station February 21st, returning on February 23rd. And then the Erasmus Pass High School Band, they will be going to, like leaving February 13th, returning on February 16th to the state clinic. So I'm bringing this to you by policy for your approval.
Okay. Does the board have any discussion or questions?
Mr. Bennett, are they doing anything for the send-off like they always do for the GRTC guys before they go out?
I haven't got with them yet, but I'm sure we will.
Well, I think they're leaving at, 9 o'clock on Thursday? And just, to the board, that's during our winter governance conference, so a lot of it's going to be going to that conference, so we may not be there. But, just to express to them that our gratitude and the hope that they bring back some hardware and trophies. So,
Yeah.
and congratulations on making it again. So.
Do I have a motion to approve the overnight trip for NJROTC and ATSSB State Band Concert?
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Johnson and a second by Ms. Branch. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7 is to consider and approve financial audit report for the year ending August 31st, 2018. Ms. Cook.
And actually, they're trying to
I believe we have Mr. Kiesnick.
go to
Are you kin to the Kiesnick that was the pitcher for the Longhorns?
Yes, I am. I've never met him before. It helped get my name pronounced correctly, so I'm grateful.
There you go. It stayed in my mind. Welcome.
Good evening, thank you. First off, on behalf of the firm, we really appreciate the opportunity to provide audit services to y'all this year. I'm pleased to present y'all an unmodified opinion, which means y'all received a very clean audit report. I plan to be brief, but if I can answer any questions along the way, please let me know. We can stop it and talk about what we have right then and there. If you would, open your audit. Page 2. This is our independent auditor's report. It's our opinion statement. In the very bottom paragraph there is the main paragraph that I'm going to read to you. It states, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly, in all material respects, the respective financial position of the governmental activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of Aransas Pass Independent School District as of August 31, 2018, and the respective changes in financial position and, where applicable, cash flows thereof for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So this is an unmodified opinion, which means it's a clean report. Now, if you would, turn to page number 12. Texas school districts are required to present two types of financials. The first being a government-wide format, the second one being a fund financial accounting format. So I'll start with the government-wide format for you first. Exhibit A1 is your statement of net position, so you got your balance sheet. Your total assets to end the year, August 31, was $57.8 million. Deferred outflows of resources, $1.3 million. Liabilities, $38.2 million. Deferred inflows of resources, $3.2 million, leaving a total net position of $17,613,918. Next page is at B1, page 13. This is your government-wide statement of activities or income statement. Your total expenses to end the year is $25.8 million. Those are offset by two types of program revenues. The first being charges for services of $149,000, operating grants and contributions of $2.2 million. Then drop down to the bottom there, you have total general revenues and an extraordinary item of Hurricane Harvey income, $33,974,865, which resulted in a positive change in that position of $10.5 million. You began the year at 7, ended the year at $17.6 million. Now if you flip to page 14, Exhibit C1 to get into your fund financial statements. This is the way the presentation the school districts keep their books on a day-to-day basis. And I'll only focus for y'all on the general fund. And that's the first column there with a 10 above it, general fund. Total assets to end the year, $9,390,000. Liabilities of $1,879,040. Deferred inflows of resources, $836,000. Leaving you a fund balance in the general fund of $6,674,150. Turn to page exhibit C2, page 17. This is your statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances for your governmental funds. Again, I focus only on the general fund for you. Your total revenues at the end of the year is $15,025,037. Total expenditures is $12,970,159. You then had transfers out to cover your insurance deductibles of $1,545,000. So to end the year, August 31, you had a positive change of fund balance of $509,000. You began the year at 6.1, you ended up $6,674,150. Anybody have any questions this time on the report?
Keep going.
All right, well, on past that is additional notes of the financial statements and a couple more letters from us. That's normally where I kind of wrap it up. You received a very clean report here. It's unmodified opinion. Just kind of looking through things, y'all's fund balance looked to be a little better than what y'all anticipated. I thought that was positive. I think your fund balance is healthy at the end of the year, so I think that's good news. And I just think those everything y'all been through this year, y'all done really well. So that's very good.
For the record, will you do me the favor and read page 11, just so we have it as part of our board meeting for documentation purposes? These are the economic factors of next year's budget and rates. I think it kind of summarizes what we went through for the year.
Certainly. The district's 2017-18 ending enrollment was 1,504. and the district defined average daily attendance was 1,361. However, since the loss of enrollment ADA is a direct result of Hurricane Harvey, TEA issued a hold harmless provision and replaced the lower ADA with the district's prior ADA 1,606. The district anticipates the return of more students over the next year as new housing in the city Aransas Pass is restored and completed. Restoration of all the district's school campuses has also been substantially completed. Taxable appraisal values used for the 2018-19 budget preparation decreased by approximately $47 million. Decreases in valuation can be attributed to property damaged or lost due to Hurricane Harvey. The district adopted a one-time maximum M&O rate of 1.17, provision of tax code 26.08 to offset the loss of tax revenues. The district anticipates appraised values will increase significantly in the upcoming year due to construction of new homes and new businesses within district boundaries. In general, the general fund's adopted budget for 2018-19 is $16,003,363. The tax rate for the year 2018-19 is a total of $1.361 per $100 valuation. The appraised value for 2018-19 budget was $878,636,451.
And the reason I asked you to read that is that the little paragraph right there was 18 months of pain for the school district.
I certainly understand.
A lot of discussion and a lot of financial analysis and hard work for our staff, our superintendent, our interim superintendent, our business managers. So I think we're to be applauded for the point that we're at.
Certainly so, and just to add to that, our experience has been just tremendous with Ms. Stansberry and the staff here, getting us in and letting us do our work, and she's been completely cooperative and very helpful in getting this audit report to y'all and in such good shape.
And she still has her hair.
Does the board have any questions? No questions? I have a motion by Mr. Stansberry to approve the audit report, second by Mr. Rector. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Keesman, thank you. We appreciate your hard work.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you, Ms. Stansberry, for your hard work on having that completed. Agenda item number 8 is an update on the district construction projects.
Thank you, Board President, Board Members, Superintendent. Hopefully everybody got a copy of the board agenda tonight. We do have the representatives of both general contractors here with Marshall and Kruger, so they'll kind of follow up when I get completed here. Just kind of give you a rundown. In the elementary school, the contract is about 80% finished with drywall on the second floor. They are damp proofing, or last week they were damp proofing the entry tower. They prepared to roof that portion of the building. Kruger is still waiting on AEP to install the new transformer, and I believe they'll have an update on that tonight. The data cabling is being installed, so there's a lot of cables that are installed on the first floor all the way through the building. Mechanical contractor is about 80% complete with ductwork on the second floor. At this time, all the exterior windows and glass are in on the first and second floor. Contractors installed a water barrier, and we'll start putting tile and the kitchen flooring in pretty soon. I think that's scheduled to come up tomorrow. Okay, that's good. Tomorrow. The painters have started the exterior painting. I think probably the rain slowed them down a little bit, but as of last week, they were working on the exterior, getting the prime coat, the texture, and such. The site is still very wet. We've had a lot of rain out there, and we'll meet next Tuesday, our next construction meeting. The second phase, the new gym complex, the contractor is about 98%. He's probably about done now, installing all of the main ductwork in the new gym. The painter is priming all the structure, the decking, the ductwork at this time to prepare the actual, put the actual finish coat on. All the translucent panels are installed on the perimeter of the gym. Once the weather gets a little better, they'll water test those, make sure they're waterproof. All the structure for the basketball goals and scoreboards are installed and complete. Roof trim is being installed and at that time about 80% complete. And the site still is very wet, so they've had some issues trying to maneuver around the site. As of last week on the existing gym floor, the floor was about 85% installed when I checked it. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
This may be a redundant question, but I do not recall. Do we have an estimated turnkey ready to walk in and celebrate?
For the elementary
Dates?
school, we do have those. The contractor's going to present those dates tonight.
Okay.
For, I think, on both projects. So they've asked to put a timeline together so we're all on the same page.
Okay.
So
Thank
you'll
you.
have that time.
So I think to speak to Ms. Diasis, and I'll be quite honest with you, we're getting a little nervous. And I think that's maybe a little understatement considering where we thought we would be. We've had several updates that we reported to the community. And of course, we report to them here at Accountable, and we're just excited. You know, it's been a long process. They gave us a vote of confidence to get it done, and we're several months behind now. So bear with me as I have a few comments, and maybe you can help me understand a little bit better, or make us all understand a little bit better. Can you speak to the scheduling system that's being used? I'm not a construction background person, but it's under my understanding there's a Procure system or a Gantt scheduling system. Are we using that on the job sites?
I don't know if either one's using the Procore system, but they are both using a Gantt chart system to schedule the critical path, each phase. So we are seeing that pretty much at every meeting. So they try to update us, taking out all the rain delays and some of the material, and just really getting the subs out there to do the work.
So is the Gantt schedule shared with our administrative team, and do they get a copy of it after every meeting?
I believe early on y'all requested that. We were sending those to you. Yes, all the contracting report, but probably the last several months, no, you have not received those.
Can we get back on schedule?
Yes.
And again, being as forthcoming as I can, I believe if the Gantt scheduler is establishing those milestones, in our interest, we don't have anybody reviewing those to see whether they're being complete. I realize it's a byproduct of our contractors, but at the same time, at least our superintendent and our administrative team can speak to why that milestone hasn't been met. So I'd like that to be provided to our administrative team.
Okay.
My next question is on rain days. I know we got a report on rain days by both construction companies. Kara, I think we got that last week. Again, without having a construction background, what criteria are we using that establishes a rain day as a measurement?
Well, the contractor builds in the average rainfall, per year based on the almanac, basically. And so anything above and beyond that, they request rain days on it. And so if they get to a point where they can't work on site, pretty much not do anything, then they'll claim that rain day. And sometimes it carries a couple of days and it's still too wet to maneuver around the site. I mean, those should be tapering off at this point since both buildings are getting dried in. But it did wreak havoc for 6 months at least.
No, I understand. I just want to understand what the criteria is. Do we know, what is that measurement that we're using? I've got the contractors here.
It depends on the rain. I mean, a half-inch of rain can flood the whole site, especially on our project. A little bit of rain can flood the whole entire site. I mean, you guys all aware of how much that rain can cause us in the front. But that management.
Can you speak to the microphone because we're being recorded?
I can wait. If
Okay.
he wants to finish up, I'm sorry.
I was under the assumption that there was a measurement that we would use. If you're saying that it's an average of what the rainfall is.
The contractor requests the rain delays, and then we review them, and they're supposed to, send us every 2 weeks their rain delays. And so we review them, and then we add those days to the contract. That's the procedure.
So who on behalf of the school district is approving the rain days?
Well, we submit those to the, I don't know if we've submitted any at this point, but we submit those to the superintendent in the form of a change order. We've just been keeping track of them, so we haven't really.
No, I understand.
Process.
Again, and I'm going to preface what I'm saying is we're getting a little nervous. So
Yes.
I want to make sure that the information is flowing to the superintendent's office and that somebody in the school district is looking over our best interest in approving those days. So, and there should be some documentation.
Yeah, I mean,
of
at
that.
every construction meeting, that's one of their line items is rain days. And so it's part of their report.
Yes, and we've had, I know Fidel has this bottom, I
Right.
see that, so I don't remember us approving anything, that I know we've talked about rain days.
Right.
And you already spoke to the next point that I had, but it was now that the buildings are sealed or dried in, I wouldn't imagine we were going to be having any rain days that are being submitted by the contractors because now they can work in there and strike, correct?
They would have to answer that. I can't answer that, but sometimes they do still, depending on site work or if they're doing demo or something like that to get shut down, they can claim those as delays because of weather. But as far as the building is concerned, I think they're in pretty good shape.
Well, for the record, that doesn't make sense to me, but anyway. My next question is, and I guess it would be for the contractors when they come up. With the subcontractors that are being used, is there sufficient manpower being provided by them right now? And if not, what are we guys doing? What are we doing to supplement the manpower to complete our jobs? I think that's probably a question for you too when you come up. The next question is with the projects being behind schedule, are subcontractors scheduled to work on the weekends? And what alternative solutions are you considering to expedite our lost time? So those are probably good lead-ins to Grayson. Thank you. You're welcome. You want to come on?
All right. With what Todd was thinking about the rain, on every single one of them, I'll pass these out to you guys too, but every meeting agenda we have, it looks just like this. It's blown up a little bigger so you can read it. But here, I'll pass it up, or y'all can pass it down. Every meeting agenda, that's on the bottom of our agenda. Like Todd said, we don't turn in our rain days to the end of the project and the duration is over. You're right. Now that we are dried in, a lot of the rain doesn't affect us. What's been affecting us the most is the moisture. Since my building is not completely closed in with storefront doors and air conditioning, we have a uncontrollably humidity problem inside the building. It is not allowing us to do tape and float, texture the walls. I got an email from our painter this morning and told me that the tape that he has been installing is just falling off the walls because of the moisture problem. And as you can tell, you were there on that. We got 6 fans on a waterproofing system inside the kitchen that is done on the underlayment of the ceramic tile. It's taken 4 days or 5 days to dry. And they've had 6 fans on it for 24 hours a day. So it's just a battle we're still having to deal with. But in all realistically, or all deal, the rain's not killing us. It's just the moisture. Now that we've gotten these cold fronts, it helps a lot. And so it's drying it out and sucking it all out of the building. With what Todd said, I do have a schedule. I'll pass it to you as soon as I read our little update. Our plumber is working on gas lines on the roof and insulating pipe. He's about 75% complete. The reason why he's at 75% is because he has a lot of bathroom fixtures. He is waiting to install and still the ceramic tiles and install in all the bathrooms. HVAC, we're installing duct on the 2nd floor and insulating duct. He's about 85%. All his units are ready to be turned on. If we have power, we could turn them on today, is what I'm being related, or they're being related. Electrical, they've been pulling wire to all the electrical rooms. He's about 80% complete. We're waiting on AEP. As Todd said, we're working with AEP trying to get the transformer set before the spring break deadline. I had a long conversation with our local rep, or our local contact that we have in Aransas. He's trying to schedule to set the transformer early to allow our contractor to pull all his copper lines, or his lines into the transformer. He can't do that until the transformer's set, because $5 stuff.
When was that conversation that you had with him?
Sir?
When was the conversation that you had with him?
Last Friday.
So nobody's reached out from AEP?
Charlie called, oh no, reached back to us? No, they haven't. He told me they were trying to schedule within the next 2 weeks. That's what we were told. Charlie reached out to him today, left him a voicemail. I'll contact him again tomorrow, see if the plan's in place.
We're also trying to see if we can assist with an employee of AEP that we know if there's anything that they can get expedited. I'll visit with you later.
Whatever help would be greatly appreciated. You all know that. I mean, we're ready to turn power on. We're ready. All our stuff is ready. The electrical rooms are ready. We're ready to flip power. You know, that's what our goal is. Come March, whenever we do get the transformer set and it's all done, we can turn power on. We can go. Drywall, we're installing double-sided sheetrock on the second floor. He's about 80%. Windows, we've installed all the window frames and glass. They're about 90% on that. We'll start installing storefront window or doors, tomorrow morning. They'll be out there putting in the frames and everything that goes with it. Painting the outside and inside walls. If you do go by there and notice the EFIS on the second floor, where the window is and the walls, there is a color difference. The only reason it's a primer, so I don't want you guys to go by and say, oh, this doesn't match. Just know that that's not final code. Tape and flow, we're taping and floating the walls on the second floor. Rough carpentry, installed wood blocking in the walls, installed underlayment of the parapets and around the tower. Elevator, we installed the elevator. They're waiting on permanent power and our block layer to rough in the entries of the elevator door, but the majority of the elevator is installed. Data, they're installed data cabling above the ceiling. Flooring, like we said, we talked about, we installed waterproofing in the kitchen. Our look ahead milestones are to get the power turned on at the building over spring break, finish the elevator, install ceiling grid, install lights and HVAC grills in the ceiling grid, start HVAC equipment, install all storefront hardware, and then earthwork on March 4th. They'll start on the bus loop, and they'll be followed by concrete paving on the ad that you guys did last month, or last month. I'll pass around the schedule that we have. Y'all just pass it around. Y'all be everybody.
Board have any questions for Grayson?
Again, is this the turnkey date that's on there?
Ma'am, what do y'all get it for? Start calling it. No, it's a little small too, I'm sorry. I tried to put it on one piece of paper. I apologize. I can email it to all y'all, or Ms. Cook, she can email it to y'all. I thought I already got that because it was too small. What we have, and I broke it up into sections. The elevator for the elementary school main building is broken up from the existing gym and the site work. Right now, our turnover date for the elementary, for the actual building is May 31st. The existing gym is 4/12. And then the site work, which really would be to move or to be usable, would be 8/26. I know the landscaping is on there, but really you don't need that. It's open school and use those parking lots. So we can utilize, or you can utilize it as soon as the paving or the marking is done on concrete. But you guys can review that and ask any questions you have. I know should have emailed you sooner, but we wanted to make sure it was correct and as accurate as possible. But we do feel very confident in our schedule. I know we walked with Victor on Friday. Like I said, we do feel confident that we'll be where we need to be so y'all can move into the school. I know it's past the time frame, but Mother Nature in the beginning hasn't allowed us to do a lot of things, but I think now we're getting stride and we are catching up.
Already ready for
This is 5 days, yes, sir.
5 days?
Yes, sir.
Is there any incentive for you to finish this in a sooner timeframe? I mean, the delays,
We
do
want
it
to get
cost
done
you
as fast as
money?
possible, yes, ma'am.
Of course you do,
Yeah.
but is it costing you money in any
Yeah, we're losing
point?
money. As longer we're here, the more money we lose. So obviously, you definitely don't want to be here any longer.
Yeah, because I know when you do a home,
Yes,
once you
exactly.
exceed that, and this is, I thought we were looking at January. There is not, you can't bring in more contractors to try to expedite it. There's not more manpower that can be had to make up the rain days, or?
At this time, a lot of them are working. Our tape floater has been working the weekends. Our drywall guys have been working the weekends. They were the critical path and along.
How many drywall guys? Are we
I
talking
can't tell
2,
you
10,
on the record.
15?
It would vary. I can't tell you off the top. I mean, it has to be over 10 to 15. I'm not gonna tell you definite numbers. I don't know off the top of my head. I can look it up and know for sure.
This just puts us right back into the beginning of the school year, and there's no guarantees.
There will be done. It will be done, I promise. This is our date and we're sticking to this date. It will be done.
Remember this being
Whether-
recorded.
Granted, catastrophic things happen, but if some of this stuff does fall, like the punch list, stuff like that, and the little items, it will still allow us to do these little things while you guys are still getting ready to start the school year. So if we do flux a little bit on that, like say the flooring goes a little longer, if we can get these areas done and we're punching other areas out, it'll still allow you guys to move in your furniture, get it out of the existing school, into the gym, to store if we need to, we'll help if we need to, facilitate anything we need to, but
I guess, in all honesty, Grayson, one of the things in listening to everything is the hard date that we're looking at in order for our administrative team to meet the timeline they need to get in the building, and to hear that we're not doing anything on weekends or bringing extra manpower in to expedite.
we are working on
Is a little concerning.
drywall, tape and float, painters, when they will be there working the weekend. Right now, we're waiting on critical things to start. They'll work over here on the 18th, they will work 35 straight days to get it done. The flooring company will work 7 days a week to get it done. They always do and they always have. They will expedite it, they know they have to make our schedule.
Any other comments or questions for Grayson? We appreciate it. Thank you. Marshall Construction. Welcome.
Hey, nice to see you again. Last time I was here, I provided the update, and I've updated it since. So if I can pass it out to you, be all right?
Absolutely.
I didn't provide a bar schedule. Grayson did. But what I do have is a time frame, selection of items, the main items of construction that we still have pending and some that we completed. And then, just looking at it right now for current progress, since the last time I've been here, we have completed some of the current work and just have about 4 of those items, main items, pending still, almost completed, or about to start. And then we look ahead to another set of dates and have different items to start in different timeframes within the main timeframe and finish. Most of those finish. And then we have our building finish out, the last items. uniqueness about our project, I guess, it's, we have, center hung scoreboard, we have bleachers, we have gym flooring to fit all it within the schedule. So we, those have to go, or each, have to go in a certain sequence. And so right now, we're in the process of working from the top of the gym down, inside the gym now that we're inside. And we can work the ceiling, paint the ceiling, get the ductwork completed, work from the top down, the translucent panels are completed. And like Todd said, we'll be water testing those to make sure we have a good solid exterior wall sealed. And then once our way down, we'll start working on the painting the interior of the gym and the other areas of the building. And once we've painted that, we can start ceiling grids, lights. But in the gym itself, we can actually, once we've painted, we can also drop lights in there. And if we have it lit up, we can start working on finishing that out in more detail. We have acoustical panels, we have backboards and flooring and the bleachers to install. We do have some exterior work still remaining, of course. The issue with our some of our exterior work is that we have, like I said, work from the top down. The gym ceiling gets painted, the lights get installed, and then we have equipment that has to get up there to be able to do all that. So we need to leave a certain pathway, depending on the equipment that's coming in, to be able to get it out and then close it up, seal it up permanently. Now, as I mentioned, yes, the humidity and the wetness of the air right now, it would help if the sun would come out a little more often and help dry the building out better. But we'll do, what we need to do to try to we want to apply the paints and all the coatings as with the surface dry as possible to be able to do a good job on that. The pavement up front is going to be started here probably next week, so we can have a place for the canopy to rest on, and then attached to the outside of the front entry, and then we are able to close up the rest of the storefront glass, aluminum front system. But as soon as the painting's done on the walls, then we can go ahead and start putting the storefront glass wherever it doesn't affect our access to the building for our taller installations. But other than that, the pavement up front and the canopy are the main items on the outside. Everything else is pretty much completed. We have all the brick, the roof, trimming and flashings, downspouts are in progress. A little bit of sidewalk on the outside.
So based on your handout, your projected completion date is May 7th?
Right now, that's our time frame. I'm not gonna say it's a hard date.
I'm sorry?
I'm not gonna say it's a hard date, but that's what our current goal is right now, yes. It's a hard goal. Because of the deliveries, certain key items, center hung scoreboard, gold backboard goals and whatnot, and the insulation hub and the flooring. The flooring is going to be probably the one that's going to be the most sensitive to anything, because we have, as you probably experienced, you have to be very, the humidity levels hopefully, and all that will be in line where we can acclimate the wood and get the material installed in a timely fashion if we can.
Does the board have any questions?
We'd like to, now that it's a lot of inside work on the gym, we have more chance to go ahead and start getting, more workers for painting, We don't have a lot of different areas, so it's, you know, you can only do so much as far as, you know, the quantity of work. We will do, try to get him, you know, get that company to load up as many as we can to do the work on the perimeter of the gym walls and throughout the rest of the building. There's not a lot of ceiling, tile or ceiling grid, so that shouldn't take very long. But the key, of course, the critical is the gym and everything that goes inside.
You have anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just like to finish up and just to summarize, I think takeaways for me, from my perspective, is I'm extremely nervous about these dates. And I guess all we can do is hope for the best right now and continue to monitor these work schedules and work with them as they're reporting to you. Do you have anything to add, Ms. Cook?
No, I think it's good to have these updates. I like this chart. I think this is good. This is something that's very helpful. So we'll have our construction meetings. We'll cheer you on and hopefully celebrate that we meet these milestones, because these are, I mean, this will, you know, especially for the elementary school, this is, you know, I think you know how important it is for us to get in there, and you think the summer's a long time, but it's really not. And we want it to be the very best, so when we open it up, it's
Can I say one more thing?
envisioned.
Absolutely.
I know you're all worried about the date too. I mean, our goal is to hit this date no matter what we got. If it does get to a point where we feel like it's lacking or we need more support, we will have other crews from our company, other superintendents, other PMs. It's what we do as a company when other projects are struggling. When it's coming down to the very end to be able to move in, to allow your stuff to get done once we have those hard dates, you know, we will expedite on our side too as well. Whether it's doing other people's work as well. So it's just kind of our strength that we always have too. So as soon as y'all can tell us your delivery dates on your furniture equipment, I know that's something y'all are going to decide on tonight too. That'll help as well. We can coordinate with Ms. Cook as well on a good delivery date. Okay. So I know that's a big item. So I'd also ask you if they can ask your sort or your your vendor. Sorry, out of brain fart. Your vendor to provide like a lead time on how long it's going to take them to make and to install type deal, so we can have it in our eyes.
Absolutely. And I appreciate those comments, Grayson.
And we'll coordinate with you too, because we'll be coming up with our move-in plan, as far as maybe staging some of the materials, because I know that's a big consideration to be able to tear the vault down. So, we're gonna work together on that. So we've got some ideas we'll be bringing out. You know, to lay some things aside tonight too.
You know, and on behalf of the board, I want to thank you guys for being here. I know you guys are away from your family, so we appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Anytime, yes. You're welcome.
Agenda item number 9 is the consent agenda. Included in your board package are the minutes of the January 14th regular board meeting. You had an opportunity to review those over the weekend. Does anybody have any questions or any corrections? If there are no questions, I have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 14th regular board meeting. A motion by Ms. Diaz. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Mullinax. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 10 are the monthly reports. Included in your package is the accounts payable, budget status and investment report, tax collection report, enrollment report, and the bond finance update. See if you have any questions on those reports or any observations. We good? That is an information item. Agenda item number 11 is to consider and approve a resolution for FEMA Community Disaster Loan application. As you'll recall, we approved this on December the 10th. Included in your package is the actual proclamation. that is required for the loan application. Anybody have any questions on the proclamation?
Is there interest rate in that?
Still don't have an initial crash. This is still to finalize, we're still working on the application for the CDM loan.
So we don't,
We still don't have an interest rate yet.
when will that be determined? So we're applying for a loan that we're not sure how much the interest rate's gonna be?
From the paperwork that I read, once the application is approved, then that piece would be put in place.
Do we get that option to?
It's whatever the T-bills are at the day that they approve the application. Look at it, Wall
But
Street
could
Journal.
we deny them if there's,
We don't ever have to draw down the money.
okay,
That's
Perfect.
the thing. We
Okay.
don't-
this
We're
is a
just
safety
saying, we're
net.
having the option for it to be
Okay.
available to us if we so.
Perfect, I just didn't see it in this information, I thought maybe it was.
No, that was the
okay,
same
that
thing
makes
we were
sense.
looking at, we would prefer to know that,
And then it says for a maximum amount of $4,493,000. So once you submit the application, then they let you know what you qualify or how much the.
This amount, the 4,493,000 is what we qualify.
Is what we're,
for.
what we're qualified, okay.
But for a point of clarification, it's what we qualify for, but we don't have to draw down on it if we choose not to. Correct. It's like, it'd be like the line of credit.
Right.
yes.
Okay,
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the resolution for finalization of the FEMA Community Disaster Loan Application as presented by administration?
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Johnson, a second by Ms. Branch. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 12 is to call for a board election. The order of election and notice of election for the May 4, 2019 board election for places 3, 4, and 6 for 4-year terms have been provided by administration for the board's review. This is a standard item based on our election year format. The 4-year term on place 3 is the seat held by Patricia Branch. 4-year term on place 4 is held by Ronica Johnson. And the 4-year term on place 6 is held by Ms. Adele Diasis. Does anybody have any questions?
I move we approve the order of election, and notice of election.
I have a motion by Mr. Stansberry to approve the order of election and notice.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rector. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 13 is to consider and approve the contract with San Patricio County Election Administration. Information is included in your packet concerning the Joint Election Services contract of APISD and the City of Aransas Pass conducted by San Patricio County Election Administrator. Texas Election Code 11.0581 requires school districts conducting trustee elections to hold its election on the same date as the election for the members of the governing body of a municipality located in the school district. This is a pretty standard document we've executed in the past. Does anybody have any questions?
We approve the joint election services of the city.
A motion by Mr. Stansberry, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 14 is to consider and approve the interlocal agreement with Furniture Company for furnishing the new elementary. This item was on the agenda last month. We've received the presentations by the companies. Anybody have any questions? If there are no questions, do I have a motion to approve Indico Furniture Company to enter a local agreement to begin the design process and develop proposals to furnish the new H.T. Falk Elementary campus?
So moved.
Ms. Diostas, motion by Ms. Diostas, second by Ms. Branch.
So,
Oh, sorry.
you made a motion for Indigo, or is it supposed to be, you're supposed to choose between the two?
I made a motion for Indigo.
You can make this motion you want.
Have a first by you and a second by Ms. Branch. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 15 is to consider and approve third grade, to approve the third grade move to either the new Falk Elementary or Charlie Marshall Elementary beginning 2019, 2020. Ms. Cook?
I've put in your packet the same, and I think we put this up in case no one was at that meeting, but I think this, pretty much was there that evening when we went through the different renditions. We have, you want to move through this just in case I think there's a few out here. We had where we were looking at what it would look like if we moved in as originally designed and discussed for the bond. With us moving in from that point, we would have one classroom as indicated in green, that we would still have available for any type of growth, any extracurricular offerings or remediation grants. If we, the next slide would show if we move third grade to Charlie Marshall, then we would have 7 rooms that would open up for opportunity for growth and any other things we wish to add. We discussed and talked about in various formats, from having parent night. I had one coffee meeting, one parent did come and was all for third grade being moved. Salt was sad, but understood. I think that's been the, general consensus. Wish maybe it had been different, but as I discussed in the parent meeting that night, there's so much the time this bond was passed, we didn't know was coming with the growth of the plants, with Hogan Homes coming in with 300 plus homes being built, and with that potential there, I just felt it would be wise that you had all that information before we made the move, because moving teachers and students, it's very stressful for everyone, and everyone's been through a lot, so we want to make sure we make good decisions. This is showing that the room in the green, that is the rooms that could be available, not necessarily that we would put third grade all over the building, but just letting them see the options. We have the availability to make some configuration changes and be able to, that we do have enough room to put third grade at this building. The black is where administration currently is. And we've even talked about different options to provide, we even kind of move ourselves a little bit, what that could potentially look like. So we haven't landed in the perfect spot for that, because we need to have more conversations, bring all stakeholders in this building to the table to do that. Didn't want to go too far down that path if we're not moving over, if third grade's not moving over here, that would have just been, time well spent. But we wanted to ensure that there was the availability, and there is, to move them in here and have some good plans on the table, maybe how to even make it where my goal would be to try to do it, and Mr. Sager we've been talking about maybe even how to do it so that they wouldn't have to move again. Because that's the thing, that was one of the pieces we didn't like, that if we moved third grade over here and then we had to wait until we got out of this building. So we have a few ideas floating that we could pull that off with some minor shifts from some of us. But we'll have to just see how that plays out. I can't guarantee anything on that at this point, but I wanted to throw that out. So with that said, the next slide shows what the potential of this campus could be like, where you could have a grade level on each wing once we're out of the building, with a possibility to have growth. We only have 6 sections now. There's a room for 10 sections for each grade level. So that would give you extra room over in the Falk campus for growth. It would give us extra room here. as well as to not only have the growth, but any extracurricular remediation type things that we want to add. So on paper, it looks good, but you want to see what the, the pulse of the community is. I know one of the things, the next slide shows some of the concerns was playground. There's no playground for our third graders over here. Well, there is about a $60,000 worth of playground equipment coming, hopefully being put in very soon. I know they've been looking at where it'll be placed. So that's very exciting, and I think some of the parents and the students that I've talked to are excited about. The next one, this shows the climbing wall. The kids were really excited about that. Basically here, I added this from the meetings we had that first night, taking all the information from all the conversations, whether it's been you as board members, teachers, sitting down with the third grade teachers, sitting down with the fourth and fifth grade teachers just this past week. And these were the advantages that were coming across from the cross grade level teacher planning opportunities. This really started, this conversation actually began with the Teacher Advisory Council when third grade teachers said, we really think we need to talk about before we move that maybe we should be moving to Charlie Marshall, because we need to have this alignment and opportunity to work with the fourth and fifth grade teachers. When I sat with fourth and fifth grade teachers last week, sat in the lounge, gave them an opportunity to come by and just visit with me about various things. I asked them as they came through, tell me honestly, what do you think about the potential of third grade moving here? Every one of them looked me square in the eye and said, we think it's a great idea. They were really enthusiastic about it, which really caught me off guard, to tell you the truth. I didn't think that they had quite that enthusiasm, but they were excited about the opportunity to have those third grade teachers with them so that they could have good discussions and they could prevent, I use their words, help prevent student gaps in learning, because they were seeing a disconnect because they're not able to collaborate as much due to not being on the same campus. Of course, the other thing, and as I said in that first meeting, I would never make this, propose to you a decision based off of state accountability, because it can change at a moment's notice, and we are more than just that state accountability. But it does hurt us. It does get put in the paper. People look at that, they consider it. And the big thing here, it has caused a lot of stress and extra work on the staff at Keyburger this year, our third grade teachers, because you have assistants come in from TEA, and I'm understanding beginning next year is going to be like a team, and they're going to start sending in. So that will be very stressful. So by putting third grade over here would begin to alleviate that problem, because we would be able to count that growth measure that currently we're not able to do so.
How soon can you count that growth measure?
Well, this year, this accountability will still be, because we're still separate, so it would be the following year. So we still are.
So they don't have to be on this campus for X amount of time before they start being.
No, because we're your house. They'll take those scores, and this to me is, correct me if I'm wrong. Once they're here, then the whole dynamics of how they count the scores will be, because they will be housed on this campus.
It goes by your school's TEA number. So if they're at Charlie Marshall, it's under their TEA number. And I know if they were here, we wouldn't be even. We wouldn't be a conversation. Yeah.
Right. And that's why the teachers brought it up, when they realized that they were having to do all this extra work. That I think is, they're learning a lot, they're having great opportunities, but, it's being mandated, it's being kind of pushed upon them, and so sometimes that can cause so much stress that you hope you're not going to end up doing more harm than good, and only time will tell on that. They're doing a tremendous job. I've been very proud of them, but it's an extra stressor that is something that by just logistics we could alleviate. Then just the adequate space, as we've talked about, and you notice I highlighted students, because I always talk to you about, and I know you're about that, making decisions with the students is our compass. And so when I was looking at this and listening to what people were saying, it's like, well, we want to prevent student gaps, and We want to make sure those students have growth measures that we can meet, student enrollment, access, increasing that. Providing staff and students an opportunity to be settled. That was another huge thing I was hearing, is that unsettling time where it's like we're here and then we moved over here and then this wing flooded, and so bless their hearts, they've really been through it. I think they're wanting a home. They're wanting to settle and not have to go through, we'll be at Falk for 1-2 years and then they might move us. It's kind of like moving into a rent house. You don't know, you don't want to put pictures up because you're going to have to take them down pretty soon. So they've mentioned that, just how do we manage this so we would not have to do that. Traffic is something I've heard is a concern, but really when you look at what we will be doing, it actually will equalize the traffic numbers. So now instead of having so many on one side where we're trying to dismiss them from one area, we will spread them out. We've already been talking about how to work on our traffic flow, what else we can do to make sure that we maximize the use of our area, our lanes, and so forth, our staff, so that we can move the traffic through as quickly as possible. And then the last one I put here, and this one really hit me as I really received an email that I put in your packet from the third grade teachers, because they knew this meeting was coming up, and they sent me an email just reminding me and wanted you to be able to see it, why they thought this was a good idea. And then to see those 4th and 5th grade teachers also, but even the 5th grade teachers, like, we'll pack our stuff up. We'll move around so that we can put the 3rd grade in one hallway and make them feel welcome. Already we're planning how they were going to, if this happens, how they're going to have like a little social with them and welcome them in. Just made me love AP that much more to sit there and listen to those teachers. But to validate them, we asked them, what do you think? And they've spoken up. And they're a little nervous about it too. Change is hard, but those were the advantages. And then I started looking at my notes for the disadvantages. The next slide, and this is all I have. The changing expected placement of pre-K through 3rd and Falk as proposed by the bond, which we've already discussed that the bond is something that, yes, when we made that decision, we were in one moment of time. The time has changed the dynamics of our community. And then that loss of potential, and I put that in highlight because we've already been denied this year. The application I put in, we were denied because they said, for that NIFA grant, because they're saying that the existing gym is not, since it's not a new gym, that they are saying we would not qualify. I've started already having the conversations to try to fight that, show them that it was pretty much stripped down to not very much left, and in hopes that they will consider us. Hopefully we'll play that Hardy card again, and still be considered. But it's still going to be an uphill fight to even get the NIFA funding. So it's just a potential of funding to use toward, because we would lose the count of the 3rd grade students who would not be moving in the building. So those are the only 2 disadvantages that I had in my notes or had looked at. So I'll tell you, I think for all of us, but I know for me, because I've looked at this a lot, my meter's gone back and forth. I think we should, I think we shouldn't, because but when I put it down and I finally wrote it down and looked at it and went back to students and then a bond and funding, it became very clear to me what I would like to propose to. Well, I need to scapegoat if you want, but I just really, after looking at it, I just really feel like that would be the right thing for us to do. It won't necessarily be the easiest thing for us to do, but I think it would be the right thing. And if we do it correctly, we work together, and we have a good positive attitude about it, I think we'll see that it will feel good about it.
I have a question on the NIFA. Who is the ultimate decision maker on whether that's approved or not? Is it the commissioner?
I don't know.
Or is it TA?
Commissioner, I always submit it to TA, but I'm not sure who. It's a committee. I do not know the answer to that.
So, but who does? us as trustees to all write letters to him.
Well,
And
I have,
also,
I
Lozano,
have the
we have
gentleman that I
representatives.
called, and he was very nice, and he said the powers that be when I talked to him, because when I called him back, before I realized we weren't going to get to move in this year, trying to still push for this application, he said, well, pull all that together, show me how much you had to pay, what all was, needed to be repaired on the gym, get it to me. He said, I can't make that decision, but I'll send it up to the powers that be. So I have that contact, so we can send all that along with our next application and let it be to the powers that be.
Discussion by the board.
You know, I talked to you a bit about manpower, and, you know, do we have enough manpower to move everybody into the new building from the old buildings, plus move them over to this campus, plus move people inside this campus, you know, between any moves that we made inside Charlie Marshall, or we have to contract additional labor out to do that?
Well, we were going to have to contract anyway to get this done some, so we'd already talked about that, because we don't have a real large staff to be moving a lot. So this is something that's part of that move-in plan. Once you tell us what we're doing, to work that, to figure out the dates and how that's going to look. The thing about moving anybody around here, those are some things we can kind of start doing, you know, a little bit as we go along, even this year, before we finish out this year. But yes, we'll have to have people, because once we start it, because of the auction at Falk and Keyburger, we're going to need, we've been talking about whether we're going to get crates or boxes for our teachers, let them start slowly packing up through the rest of the school year as they finish up units and studies and get their books and so forth. Now that I have this chart and kind of have a date, working back from that to say, let's have your stuff packed. We've even talked about, we found out that we can do construction exception dates where we could even consider letting our students out as early as May 24th. They'll have enough minutes. So we've been having that discussion, potentially going ahead and releasing the students May 24th, so that the 2 days that the students would have been here will be a big moving day for us, where we bring in people, we're all working together, and we start getting things moved out, maybe more to a, depending on where they are, if they stay with their Gantt chart, to a location where we just store it until we can get it further in the building. But it's going to take a good plan, but when you think about it, we're having to do pre-K through third no matter what. It's just a matter of pre-K through second going into fall and third coming over here with some, you know, potentially 6 teachers on this campus having to move. If we move down our hall, there may be some relocating of a few of the administration staff. We haven't really figured all that out yet.
I think one of my biggest concerns was that if we're thinking about the best thing for kids, if the third graders move over to this campus, they need to be in one wing. They need to be settled. So that was one of my concerns. I just felt like planning. I wish we would have known about it sooner, because it seems to be like this wasn't an issue that happens overnight. So that was one of my biggest concerns with it.
I agree with you. We're very concerned, making sure that we figure out how to do it. If we do come over here, how do we do that in a way that the students will be settled?
And you're talking about the possibility of, you know, in the school for construction on 24th of May. You know, would that be for all the schools or just those schools?
Well, we talked about that because we have the secondary had mentioned that they would like to, they actually, before we talked about the whole meeting thing, secondary would like to look at using the days for, I think it was like, those that have attendance issues or credit issues, they could do some makeup during that time, so that would help them. We would be busy across the district, there would be no twiddling of the thumbs, but, so when we threw it out on the table, everybody's like, there's some benefits to this. But if we decide to do that, we'll get that decision made by March, so we can start letting everyone know.
Yeah, because again, you know, parents think the kid's gonna be out of school in June, you guys send them out a week earlier or whatever
Well,
else?
it's only a day and
They
a
got
half.
daycare or whatever else they gotta set up and make sure they got it done?
Well, it's really only a day and a half, because Memorial Day's on Monday, we come back on Tuesday, full day, and then we have an early dismissal day on, Wednesday. So
It's not gonna be a big impact.
it's actually going to help us, because a day and a half like that, we're going to have real bad attendance.
Oh, yeah.
Because most people are not going to come back.
Yeah.
So it'll be a win-win, I think. I think most families, as long as we give them plenty of notice, we don't need to tell them the Friday before. So as long as they have plenty of notice, so their children have a place to go.
Any more questions from the board?
I'd like to approve the location of the third grade moving to Charlie Marshall.
I have a motion by Ms. DeHasis to approve the relocation of the third grade to Charlie Marshall Elementary effective the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
The second by Mr. Mullinack. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I just want to say thank you, because I know that was hard for you.
That's a lot of work for y'all. Thank y'all. Good luck.
I'd say thank you all for my staff. They've been unsettled for a while, and this will give them some,
Yes.
will make them be able to calm
Direction.
down and see direction, and between losing their homes and what's going on at the schools, they've been a little all over. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 16 is to consider and approve the school calendar for the 2019-20 school year. Ms. Cook.
This calendar, we did this a little quicker than I like to do calendars, but, since I've been running it ever since I got here, so everything's, next year we're gonna have, better timelines. We basically, because we had heard that this calendar, I think this is the first time it looked like this, that, the current calendar we have, we heard that most people liked it pretty well, and so we basically took this year's calendar, we just put it over into the 2019-20 framework. Did a little tweaking based off some conversations we had. The entire administration team met and mulled it over and looked at it and talked about it and looked at it from every perspective. And then once we made a few changes, changed up a few little things here and there, each campus principal took it out to their campuses and through various ways, whether faculty meetings, PLCs, whichever way they chose. They shared it with their campus staff and received input. They then brought the input back to the table with the administrative team. We considered all of the concerns. There were very few concerns, actually. We looked at them. Most of them could be explained, and then a lot of it had to do with so many professional staff development days at the beginning and not enough time to plan. But in order for us to receive, excuse me, I'm starting to lose my voice. In order for us to receive funding for professional development days, we have to show those on our calendar, and we have to show that we had some type of professional development. But a big thing we've been talking about for this next year is not just having the professional development, but perhaps having it where at the beginning of the day is the new idea, concept, or conversation, with the second half of the day being with the planning so they could implement it. So we've been having a lot of conversations about ensuring that the teachers get the proper planning time. So I think once the campus principals have been explaining that to staff, it's not like we're just going to just constantly be coming at them with more and more and more, because they've got to have time to plan to make sure that true implementation can happen. So as we've explained that to them, I think we kind of calmed some of their fears and helped them really know that we heard their voice and their need there. With that said, this is the calendar that our team has would like to bring to you for consideration. I'm ready to answer any questions or concerns you have.
Are there any questions from the board? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the 2019-20 school year calendar as recommended by administration?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Johnson. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. DeHasis. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 17 is to consider and approve TASB initiated local policy update 112 affecting local policies that are itemized on your agenda. There are numerous of them, I'm not going to list all of them. Does anybody have any questions? This is a second reading?
Yeah.
Most of them are just, they're pretty straightforward, just some things that, some of it's cleaning up the language, some is just being in line with any legislative changes.
Does the board have any questions? We have a motion to approve the TASB initiative policy update 112 as recommended by administration. Motion by Mr. Rector, second by Ms. Diasis. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 18 is to consider and approve property and casualty insurance renewal and premium.
I got a message at 7:21 that he was heading in our direction.
He's
Right
here.
He's here. Yay!
He's been sitting waiting patiently.
Okay. This is Mr. Don Clark.
Welcome, Mr. Clark.
Thank you. How are y'all this evening?
Doing good. Thank you for being here.
Sure. I guess I'm just here to answer any questions anybody might have, or?
Yes. We tried to load him up with a lot of information.
Okay.
Just in case you didn't make it. Chase Carlisle, the very first page of the packet is an explanation as to the increase of property insurance premium and how that came about. It is not due to the insurance rate that they charge, but it's because of the property value that we have had increased. They do have to match the replacement value, what it would cost to replace, to stay in line with the replacement and market value. And I know Mr. Clark can probably give more information if you need.
Sure, so kind of to back up what Ms. Stansberry's saying is, y'all are in the third year of the 3-year rate guarantee. So the increase that you're seeing has nothing to do with the rate on your buildings. What it has to do with is the square footage that's been applied to them. We've got a partner that goes out and goes to 135 other districts as well as Marshall Swift Beck and analyzes what the square foot cost is of each of the districts, elementary, middle, junior high school, gymnasiums, all the facilities. What we had found is that in numerous districts, the costs go up on an annual basis. And if we don't keep up with them, it gets out of control, obviously. These are replacement cost policies. So what we're trying to do is just to align what our per square foot costs are in the event that we have an emergency.
So basically, if we had a catastrophic loss and we lost one of our buildings, we could be underinsured.
Potentially, yes, sir. As far as your deductibles and your other structures, none of that changed. Again, you're in the rate guarantee. Still 2% per occurrence per building, 100,000 minimum. I won't read the whole list to you unless somebody would like me to read the whole list to you. And I see numerous people saying no.
No, I just had one question.
Yes,
It's just because I'm interested. I noticed the limit on flood was $5 million. Is that pretty standard provision? I'm thinking in my mind, if we had a catastrophic loss and our levee, for lack of a better word, fails and we have flooding, mass flooding, you always get into this argument of what caused the loss. Was it the wind that tore the window open and water came in, or was it the water that came in?
Right.
So I'm just wondering, are we adequately covered there with the $5 million limit?
To address your comment about what caused the loss,
Right.
that's the good news about having all the coverage under one policy. We don't have anybody else to blame. The $5 million limit outside of zones A or B is a pretty standard limit. I'm sure that modeling has taken place within your district, kind of looked and seen what the probable maximum loss in any certain events are, and that's why that $5 million is what's been attached to the policy. We can certainly look at more if you feel that that's necessary, but I can assure you that the due diligence has been done to a degree.
And then another question on page 180. I'll talk about our auto loss ratio of 51% with 94% in 2018-19 alone.
Yes, sir.
Make that make sense to me.
So what it's saying is overall, your auto premiums, you're having a 51% overall loss rate. So let's just say your auto premium is $100,000, you're experiencing $50,000 over the life of being in the program
Okay,
of losses. But obviously, that's an average. So you could
Right.
have 1 year that you've got 0,
right.
and you've got maybe 1 year that you've got 100 or 120. I mean, you can go over the maximum of your, you can go over what your premium is. The 94% is saying that in the year, in program year 2018, 2019, you got a 94% loss ratio. And that's going to equate to, pardon me while I look at your sheet here.
That's an actual number or prediction?
That's a percentage that we incurred.
Those are actual incurred losses.
So that means
versus
we had
premium.
a huge claim somewhere. That's how I read it.
And that's correct. Sorry, I'm fumbling, but I'm trying to see what your auto premium is, and then it'll give you an idea of what the loss was, because I don't have the loss running.
That's fine. I mean, you explained it to me. That's what I figured it was. I was just curious.
Yes, sir. Well, that's exactly what it is. And it's probably a shock loss. I mean, you may have had a vehicle totaled or something out of the ordinary. Unfortunately, it still is accountable on the loss run.
Can you speak to the insurance premium and the fact that right now it's not inclusive of the high school gym and the elementary school?
Yes, I can. So currently, we have not added the new elementary or the new high school gym to date. You have taken possession of it, is that correct?
That's correct.
I'm reading from the note.
No, you're right.
But Falk also has not been removed from the policy as of yet. So for the new elementary, the annual premium, and obviously this will be prorated depending on when the schools get added. But on an annual basis, the new elementary is going to cost $59,546. The new gym, again on an annual basis, is $22,787. Once you remove Falk, you will receive a removal credit of $37,168. Again, these are all annual numbers, so if you do this in June, then
It'd be a prorated
it's
basis.
going to be a prorated amount to that point. What it looks like from an annual basis, when you've got the ins and the outs, the total change is an additional premium of $45,147.
And we budgeted, we've already got that,
I'm sorry.
we've already budgeted for that.
We budgeted for the original premium, but not for the additional 75. So we will have to be finding money to pay that when we put the buildings on.
So the net effect of everything we discussed, our premium in 18 was 367,000 and change, and in 19 is going to be 404, which is an increase of $37,000 without the 2 new buildings
That's correct.
and the replacement cost.
Correct.
And this is you said this earlier, this is the third year.
This is the third year of your current rate guarantee, yes, sir. The program did not offer any extensions to rate guarantees this year. We are hoping with a slow catastrophic season like we've had the last, that they may come back in October or something along those lines and offer it again. But unfortunately, right now, it's not available.
Does the board have any questions? Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation by administration for insurance renewal premiums? A motion by Ms. Diaz, second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for being here. I heard you were traveling tonight.
I was over in Kingsville first. That was fun. But on behalf of Carlisle and for Carlisle Insurance and Chase, we appreciate y'all's partnership and look forward to a longer relationship.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the information. We appreciate it. Be safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 19 is the superintendent's report. Included is the public relations report, the calendar of upcoming events, and the district mental health awareness opportunities. Ms. Cook.
In your packet, we have just once again give you an update on what's going on with Facebook. I apologize, I meant to speak to Blaze about she told me it's called Reach. I was wanting to see like how many people are actually viewing our pages, so we didn't get that reporting this time. Because I really think when you look at the likes, that's kind of misleading, because we really have a great following. We have a lot of people really looking at our Facebook pages now. I'm hearing it all around town through the school system, just, you know, even my family is, you know, mentions the great things going on, and I really appreciate how each campus is really putting out the great things that are going on. If you haven't liked our pages and gone on and checking out what's going on, you need to check it out, because I'm amazed at the good things we have going on. We have been working on the new web page, and we would like to show you what it's going to look like. You see here is the way it currently looks.
Yep, this is before, this is what it is now, as you log in. And then, once we make it, all, really is what a template, it's how everything gets put and formed in together. So what we're doing is we're changing templates, giving it a different look that comes in with it. And on the home page, so this is what it'll go right to, straight in, just simple, just clean. You scroll down, it comes up with the announcement and stuff, but it's always gonna base on this one picture. Depending on the size of your screens and the size of what browser you're using, it does make changes. It's also mobile ready, so you'll have that mobile piece. So if you're looking at it on a phone, it actually shrinks everything down where it sits on it for you. That goes with it. So this is in just what it is on the home page. Each the schools are going to be changed up. There's something similar. We got different little websites coming in here. We've done a lot of cleanup on it. Where you get into, there's only one spot. After 3 years, every 3 years, you got to kind of go through a flushing of what's on your web page and change it up, and when you go out for it. And you know, we got it back now to where it's everything can be found. You know, if it's a required posting from anywhere, it's right there. If it's something for staff, instead of having multiple links to go someplace, they got one here, then they got forms. Students and parents, and then schools with the links as well too. One thing that we did do is on the main page we put links to all of the directories, and then when we go into the directories, we have, it's going to come up with the old page because it's just a template, but it comes up and it's got the actual pictures, what their job description is, contact information, that type of thing. If they didn't have a picture, we just, you know, they symbol and goes in.
Until we get their picture.
And until we get their picture.
I'm telling them, I'm gonna put my picture up there, we're all putting our picture up there. I think it's important that when you look, you can see who belongs to that name.
Before.
I just really appreciate the hard work that they put into this, and we have still some more things we want to add and do and to it, but I think it's just cleaner look, it's fresh, it's going to be more manageable, so people, when they're trying to find something, they get in there and they can get to it, because there's nothing more frustrating than going to a page and you look and look and look and you still don't get it. We're going to work all together from the campuses to the district to ensure that we keep everything updated, that you don't look there and find, you know, something from 2 years ago when it should have had this year's date on it. So we want it to really be reflective of what we're trying to do here, which is the, you know, strive for excellence. And we want our web page to show that. So anything that you like, don't like, you know, before we go, because we're not live yet, right?
No.
No, not yet. Good job.
When do you expect to go live?
I can get it in, we can get it in pretty soon. Once I get it conglomerated, okay, ready to rock and roll. You know, we can get it.
We want a live day, so we dancing around like those construction
Hard
guys.
set point. I'll have to check on my contract.
We need your Gantt
I think
chart.
we're gonna change your job title.
It's been a lot of work for them on top of everything else they're doing. I appreciate all of them.
John, you still playing Rain Day?
I'm still playing Rain Day.
We just wanted you to see that, and hopefully it will be out very soon. I think I think everyone's going to really like it. You have your calendar of events. This does not encompass everything. These are the things we could capture. I do appreciate, I see a lot more that we're getting from the campuses to get on here. A lot of exciting things that we heard of our girls did.
I think they got to add the girls' next playoff game because they won tonight, 62-33.
When did they play?
They're probably deciding on that, but I think it's Bishop or something. Bishop or against
What was the final score?
62-33.
So more coming there, so a lot of excitement. And then I just wanted to share with you the district mental health awareness opportunities. You know, we received the Red Cross grant, and so been working with the counselors, really appreciate them, working to come up with the ideas that we're going to be implementing. Partnering with Coastal Plains Community Center. Some of the things that are coming right now, they've already started class-focused care lessons where we have, they're called Qs. I don't remember QH, I don't remember what they're called, but Qs, they keep telling me they're Qs. But anyway, they're certified individuals that are coming in, like LPCs, that can come in just beneath that, don't have that complete education. But they come in, they're going to do lessons in our classrooms, looking at different things from trauma to just a variety of things, just to be available and work. They will also then start meeting with students that need any type of assistance, if they need more individual. The whole point of the Red Cross grant was knowing that being a Harvey district, that even though we may have started rebuilding or rebuilt areas and repaired things, there's a lot of trauma that so many of our families have gone through, so many of you. You know, how do we support that? How do we help them? How are we there for them as they overcome within what has been done? So we're thankful for this opportunity. We're preparing for it's either going to be end of April, 1st of May. We don't have the date set yet for a bounce forward spring fling, where we're going to be bringing in agencies and community partners to hold a big event in the evening from like 5 to 8, where we'll have bouncy houses and fun activities, the police, the fire department, and then all the agencies set up booths, and they can have giveaways and provide information to our families about what they offer and how they can help them. So just a fun night of coming together and showing our families how much we care about them and providing access to services. We are also planning some parent nights and working on what that's going to look like here in the spring. And then working on a potential youth summer program, maybe like the summer boost that we did last year, how that might look using some of these funds, once again, to provide access to our students that even during the summer, when things are kind of, you know, sometimes them being at home all summer is not good for them. And so to have them have an opportunity for some other type of access. So counselors are working diligently on that in partnership. We also have an opportunity through UTMB, in which I appreciate Sally has been working diligently with that for telemedicine. It's basically access to a psychiatrist and a private setup, and Sally's made sure we are walking the line with this. And so she told me we are getting some referrals now, but an opportunity that some of our families may not have without having this type of access. And so we're very thankful for all of these different groups reaching out to us and helping us to help our families. So I just wanted you to be aware that was happening. You know, it's when we talk about mental health, no one wants to, you know, it's kind of taboo sometimes, but we need to just all realize that's part of life. Is sometimes things happen to us that it's hard, and we have to be there for each other, and we have to provide assistance and support so they can come to a healthy place again. So I'm excited about what's going to come of those things.
John, thank you.
Some great information. And I just want your staff to know that when we were doing the interviewing process, one of the directions or directives that we gave is we really wanted to improve communication with the community. I mean, I think Mr. Smith said it earlier when he came in, that a rains as fast as the best kept secret. of the cost of bid. I know we all believe that, but unfortunately, we live in a time where newspapers only want to grab headlines with bad information on the school district, so we have to toot our own horn, and you guys have done that the last few months. We've noticed it. We know it's because we asked you to do that, but we know you're not the one doing it, the people at the campus are the busy bees doing it, so we appreciate it. And you know, I'm a big believer that there's a lot of great things fixing to happen here with all the industry coming and having a webpage that people can navigate and see your rains fast shine and make them want to come here. So thank everybody for their hard work.
We appreciate the staff and administration embracing that and running with it, because we can see the results of it. Parents are excited, the community's excited. We all knew all these great things were going on, so we just had to shout it out, you know, to the community, so it's been good.
Agenda item number 20 is discussion, board discussion. Time is set aside for any board member to address any topics for future meetings. Anybody want to add anything for the next board meeting? Finally, agenda item number 21 is to convene an executive session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.001, concerning any and all purposes permitted by the Act. 551.074, discussion of personnel, resignations, stipends, and consider and approve a candidate for assistant superintendent. The time is now 9:11 and we'll convene an executive session. Time is now 9:50. The board is reconvened in open session to act on items for closed session concerning resignation, stipends, and the consideration of an assistant superintendent position. Do I have a motion to accept the resignations as submitted by administration?
So moved.
A motion by Ms. Diastis and a second by Mr. Molinek. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the stipends as recommended by administration?
So moved. Second.
A motion by Ms. Johnson, a second by Ms. Branch. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve Wayne Bennett as the new assistant superintendent for APISD?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rector and a second by Ms. Johnson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Bennett, congratulations. And we look forward to great things from you working with Ms. Cook and the administrative team. I think we have an awesome team right now, so congratulations on behalf of the board.
Congratulations.
There being no further business before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Time is 9:51.